Hey, what's up? My name is Nick. Here is our exercise tier list. I'm excited to go through all these exercises and rank them. So for me, I've got S, A, B, C, D. So S is superior exercises. A is great, amazing, A plus exercises. B is for me like good but not great, not amazing. There's better. C is like meh exercises, and then D is let's just skip them, or there are plenty of better options. So my mindset going into this, I'm thinking of this through the lens of the general population. I'm a fitness coach. My background is in dance and a lot of endurance sports. And when I teach, I'm usually teaching a wide range of people. So if I'm making exercise recommendations like this, I've got to think about the general population, everyone, not just advanced athletes or not just beginners. I'm kind of thinking of the general sense. So just a little bit about my mindset before I get into these exercises. My first thought here is these are all exercises that I do, have done, and will probably continue to do in the future. So I don't know how I'm going to be able to rank some of these in that D category. So maybe I'll think of D. Again, this is a comparison list, so I'll think of that D tier as like not my favorite, but again, none of these I would say are bad exercises. These are all exercises that I do. So let's start. All right, this font is so small for me. I'm trying my best here. Should have got my glasses. Okay, knee raises. I'm gonna say, okay, knee raises, so as I'm glancing through some of these core exercises, my first initial reaction with knee raises is it's not going to be super high on my tier list. I'd rather go with some sort of core exercise that's weighted, let's say like cable crunches, because when it comes to core, we obviously want to be able to progress, and something like a knee raise, you can't really progress. You're not going to add weight to it. It's a great beginner exercise if you're trying to do hanging leg raises or like strict toes to bar. I don't know. Let's say B. Knee raises are great. I do them. I certainly program them, but you can't really progress. You can add reps, but what happens when you then become really good at them? Deadlifts. Okay. Deadlifts, I'm going to put you right in that S, that superior tier. So again, we're talking general population. If you were to say to me, Nick, I'm trying to enter a bodybuilding competition, I probably would not put a barbell deadlift at the top of this list for you. However, for general fitness, deadlifts are amazing. As someone who grew up a dancer and an endurance athlete who did not strength train, a compound movement like this, a movement that you also do in your everyday life, think about the amount of times you bend over and pick something up. Being able to lift heavy weights on a barbell as you're deadlifting is incredibly crucial, but also beneficial. You're recruiting so many different muscle groups. It's amazing. Top freaking tier. That's gonna be one of my favorite exercises. This font is so small. Dumbbell shoulder press. This is another one that I'm gonna probably have to put in that S tier. Love a dumbbell shoulder press. I'm specifically putting this in the S tier over a barbell shoulder press. When it comes to the barbell press, there's a lot of like technique and mobility involved. It's not super like joint friendly. The dumbbell shoulder press is something that is joint friendly. It's amazing to build that upper push strength, that overhead strength, but it's a little bit more inclusive of all people, which is why I'm going to put it in that S tier. Hanging leg raises. So, okay, we talked about our knee raises. Hanging leg raises would be a more advanced option of those knee raises, but I'm going to still put that in that B tier because, again, it falls under the same category of, again, this is an exercise I love. Like I do hanging knee raises and leg raises all the time, but I think there's better core exercises is what I'm saying. Incline dumbbell bench press. Ooh, I think that's going to have to be an S tier moment for me. And here's why. I would put that higher than maybe a bench press for the general population. This is an exercise that, again, is a little more joint friendly, a little, it's targeting the upper chest. I'm just going to prefer for most people specifically the incline dumbbell bench press as opposed to a barbell bench press. Barbell bench press is something I do every single week. I love to bench press with a barbell. It is great, but I'm going to have to put that incline dumbbell bench press over it because I think it's just more inclusive for all levels of people. Lunges, ooh, love. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna end up putting everything in the superior. Okay, lunges, I'm gonna put you in A. It's great unilateral movement. Lunges are so good because they're functional. They help you if you play sports and you're looking to build strength. They're, as opposed to an exercise that's just gonna build muscle for a bodybuilding or an aesthetic purpose, lunges are incredibly functional. So I don't know, I'm just gonna put in A because I can't love everything equally. Lat pull downs, I think I'm also gonna put that in A. Love a lat pull down, great upper pull exercise, super friendly because it's not super technique focused and the risk of injury there is so low. But I am gonna put it in an A and not a superior because a pull-up for me is gonna be a little bit more superior because it's a little more functional, involves the core, as opposed to that lat pull down. Leg press. Ooh, I do love a leg press. I'm gonna put that in A. The only reason I wouldn't put in superior is because I'm gonna put squats probably, because squats are on here, right? Hopefully they are. I'm gonna put that in the superior. So leg press it's close. Bench press, okay, I already talked about that. I think I'm gonna do an A situation, an A moment for the bench press. It's funny because bench press is something that I feel like most guys grow up, that's the one exercise that they want to do because they're want to look, big and masculine in the upper body. And the bench press is probably the last movement I did because in dance and in endurance sports, it's just not super crucial to have strong upper push. But now I then identified that as a weak point. And so for the past, 5 years, I'm bench pressing like crazy. But again, it not super friendly, a little more technique focused than that incline dumbbell bench press. And I would just prefer that incline dumbbell bench over a barbell bench press for general population. Military press. Okay, this is our barbell shoulder press, which we talked about with the dumbbell bench press. So I'm gonna put that where am I gonna put this? Is this controversial? I'm gonna put this in B. Okay, here's the difference for me between the barbell shoulder press and the dumbbell shoulder press. Barbell shoulder press is to build functional strength. You get more weight on the bar. It's something I love because my priority as an athlete is to just be able to push as much weight as possible when it comes to overhead. I have to physically, as a dancer, lift up mostly females and hold them above my head. So I'm gonna personally, for me, barbell strict press is going to be superior. But for the general population, again, mobility-wise, not everyone can do a barbell strict press or overhead press, military press. We're using a million terms that are all interchangeable. Not everyone's going to be able to have the mobility and the technique to be able to execute that properly and safely. So for most people, I'm going to say I'd prefer a dumbbell shoulder press. But for me, honestly, I'm using the barbell mostly. Bent over barbell row, ooh, love. I'm gonna do A. I was almost gonna do superior. I'm gonna do that A. Love a bent over row. For me, upper pull, that's gonna be the number one exercise. Now I'm contemplating, should I put it in superior? No, I'm gonna stick with A. I'm gonna stick with it. Planks, okay. Again, a lot of these core exercises are amazing, but they're not exercises that you can really properly progress in, because what happens? You just become really good at planks and you just keep holding it for, freaking 10 minutes. So I'm going to do a B moment. Again, I'd prefer something, but I love planks. Planks are great for, endurance as well. And to be able to do a plank is incredibly helpful. So again, I'm not saying B as in it's bad. B as in it's good, but there are things that I would like more. Pull-ups, girl, love you. I'm going to put you in superior. Love you, pull-ups. It engages the core, functional. You can weight it with a weight belt. You can go on one of those assisted pull-ups. Sorry, my brain just stopped for a moment. You can go on one of those assisted pull-up machines and scale it. It's just infinitely scalable. It's so amazing. That's superior. Pull-ups, superior. Push-ups, I'm kind of also superior. I'm gonna put it in superior. I love a push-up. You can incline it, you can decline it. There's so much you can do. I love a push-up. Okay, tricep overhead press. Love. Okay, I'm gonna put in A. The reason I'm not putting it in superior is because it's an isolated movement. You know, triceps are involved if you're doing a bench press or a dumbbell press. They're just more secondary compared to the pecs. But the reason it is A for me is specifically the overhead. So honestly, I would rather it be like maybe a cable overhead tricep extension, but I would prefer the overhead position compared to, let's say, like a skull crusher. I don't know, is a skull crusher on here? Oh, I see it. Yeah, I'm coming up to it. I would prefer this because you get a deeper stretch in the muscle, like specifically targeting like the long head of the tricep. So I'd prefer an overhead tricep variation compared to like a skull crusher. So it's still top notch for me. Single arm dumbbell row. Ooh, that's gonna be probably an A for me, but also maybe even a superior. So I actually would rank a single arm dumbbell row higher than a barbell bent over row, just because it's a little more friendly of all levels, a little less technique focused. Obviously a bent over row, you've really got to hone in that technique. With a single arm row, it's a little bit less technique focused, so a little bit better for just, you know, general population, all levels. Sit-ups, again, sit-ups, I love you, but it's not superior. It's not giving superior energy to me. It's giving, I don't know, I'm kind of gonna put it in C. I love sit-ups and I do sit-ups. Like I do them again. It's not bad, but there are core exercises I like more. So yeah, sorry sit-ups. I'm putting you in C. Skull crushers, I'm putting you in C as well because of what I said. I love you. I don't mean to talk poorly of you, but I'm gonna prefer an overhead, what did we do? Overhead tricep press or a cable press. Squat superior. Now, okay, so it says just squats. The guy in the photo is doing a back squat. There's a lot of different kinds of squats. You could do a back squat, a front squat with a barbell. You could do a goblet squat. So I'm just gonna assume this is just general squats. This is an incredibly important functional movement pattern. You squat every day, whether you know it or not. So we've got to become good at it. Love squats. Love. When I started doing squats were a movement that I was so afraid to do as a dancer and an endurance athlete. They can be kind of intimidating, but as soon as I really got good at them, that was when, I mean, imagine everyone is coming up to you and being like, Nick, when did you grow a big butt? Like, when did you grow the most beautiful butt? And you're like, it's not me, it's squats. So squats are superior. Tricep push down or pull down. Again, that's gonna be a B, such a love tricep push down, but it's gonna be a B for me only because I would prefer an overhead tricep extension with the same cable. So use the same cable as the push down, just do an overhead cable tricep extension. So it would be superior if it was that variation. Treadmill, okay, love, I'm gonna put you in A. I don't know if we're just saying specifically treadmill or running. I personally prefer to run outside, which is kind of the nice part about a lot of iFit treadmills like the NordicTrack, the ProForm, because it's kind of like simulating running outside without actually having to go outside when it's 19 degrees out. I just prefer to be outside, but you know, whether it's watching John Peel take you on a run outside through whatever cool island he's on, or whether you're actually outside, I would maybe put it in superior if it was that. Just, you know, sometimes running on a treadmill, staring at a wall can be not fun. So I would put you higher, but I love running. Love running. Bicep curl. Okay. So this is very superior heavy. So I'm like, I need to start putting some exercises lower. Bicep curl, I'm sorry, I'm gonna put you in C. Love a bicep curl. I do bicep curls. I hope you do bicep curls, but they're not as functional. Very aesthetic, great for like elbow health or grip strength, which is amazing. But again, compared to like other exercises, it's just not as amazing. For me. Stair climber, ooh, okay. You know, maybe controversial, but I'm gonna put you in B, stair climber. I know people love the stair climber. At the gym, the stair climber is always being occupied. But honestly, for me, stair climber is great. Cardio, aerobic, good for glutes and quads. But just for me, I'm gonna prefer other forms of cardio personally, so that's why I'm putting you in B. I'm sorry, stair climber. I still love you. Bicycle machine. Okay. Okay, bicycle machine. I'm gonna put you A or B. I'm gonna put you in B. You know what? You know why I'm gonna put you in B, bicycle? So I just did my first Ironman 70.3, and I spent way too many freaking hours on a bike. And so I'm having a little bit of bike trauma. But here's what I would put in A, or even superior, an indoor rowing machine. Rowing, I am obsessed with rowing, y'all. Okay, I'm a little bit biased because I did coach rowing for a while, but I love rowing. Compared to, let's say, biking, it recruits more muscles. It's similarly low impact and aerobic, which is amazing. Bicycle, I'm having doubts. I'm like, should I put bicycle in A? No, I'm gonna keep it in B, my first instinct. So again, if this was a rowing machine instead of a biking machine, you bet your bottom dollar I'm putting you higher. I just like, biking for me can get a little bit boring, but also, I don't get to bike with iFit because I don't have a Nordic track biking machine. So if I did, maybe I would enjoy it a little bit more. Bodyweight squats. Okay, bodyweight squats, amazing I'm gonna put this in B, and here's why. Amazing for beginners, amazing as a warm-up, but specifically bodyweight squats, like in a workout. Again, if you're a beginner and you can't squat with a light dumbbell in a goblet position, bodyweight squats are amazing, an amazing way to work your way up. But yeah, I'd hope that we could use some weight and progress in that way. Burpee. Okay, y'all, so I haven't put many in C and I haven't put any in D. I'm gonna go ahead. I don't think this is gonna be controversial because I know everyone hates burpees. Here's why I'm gonna put burpees in D. They're just simply better conditioning movements. I quite literally did burpees today. Like, I'd be lying if I said I don't do burpees. I do burpees. I'm trying to train for a high rocks potentially because it's winter time and I'm kind of putting some triathlon training to rest in the winter. And so I do burpees, but for the general population, like, there are just better exercises. So if I have to put something in D, because again, this is very top heavy right now, again, I'm not saying burpees are bad. Do them. If you like them, do them. But there's just better conditioning exercises for the general population. Chest dips. Okay, love. I have a little bit of trauma because I was just finished going to physical therapy because I was having a little internal rotation with my shoulder and irritated it on a chest dip. So a little bit of trauma, but great exercise for growing the lower chest. Where do I want to? I'm going to put it in B. I get a little bit of trauma there. Machine chest press. Okay, compared to, I'm going to put that in B compared to the barbell bench press. Chin-ups compared to pull-ups. Okay, I prefer a pull-up. Chin-ups are obviously going to get that bicep going a little bit more. I prefer pull-ups, so I'm just going to put that in C because, again, this is very top-heavy. Crunches. Again, better core exercises exist compared to crunches, so I'm sorry, crunches. I'm putting you in C. Dead hang. Low-key love, because dead hangs are great for grip strength. They are something that we were like so good at when we were kids, and now we're just so bad at it as adults. So it's just like playing on the monkey bars. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in A. Why not? That was hard, you guys. That was hard. I honestly love like all these I just love exercise. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I feel so like I'm so sorry to the burpees. Like, I really do apologize, especially since I personally am like good at them, so I like them. Because, usually we like what we're good at and we don't like what we're not good at. But yeah, this was hard to rank all of these. Again, this was through that kind of functional fitness, general population lens. So if you were to come up to me and be like, hey, Nick, my goal is to gain as much muscle as possible and enter a bodybuilding competition, I probably would change this tier list. But yeah, I think I'm going to confidently stand by this tier list. This is my first time doing a tier list, and it's kind of hard. It's really hard, but this was also fun. My name's Nick. So yeah, all right.